Good evening from Caernarfon, the first stop on our Senedd election roadshow. It's now just 22 days until Wales goes to the polls to vote in our next Welsh Government on the 7th of May. We're live in the shadow of the mighty Caernarfon Castle, which has played a huge part in the history of Wales for the best part of 1,000 years. And a new chapter of history could be written when Wales goes to the polls in just 3 weeks' time. This is now the part of the new constituency of Gwynedd Maldwyn, a big one too, that stretches from England to the Irish Sea. Of course, a big issue that faces this area and neighbouring constituencies is health. Concerns have long been raised about the standard of care here. People who rely on Betsy Cadwallader University Health Board wait longer for emergency treatment, longer for planned procedures, and longer for cancer treatment than anywhere else in the country. Our health reporter, Katie Fenton, has spent time on the front line to understand the reality facing patients and staff in North Wales.
At North Wales' second biggest GP surgery, it's another busy morning.
Hiya, it's Clarence Medical Centre. How can I help?
17,500 patients come to this practice in Rhyl for care. New technology and more staff help, but demand outpaces capacity because GPs are picking up pressure from elsewhere.
I've had patients who, we have to tell them, no, this is an A&E problem, you need to go in, but no one wants to wait 12, 16 hours there. All our days are long. I think all of us stay back far later than we're meant to because we're just keeping up with demand. I think a lot of the time I don't finish all my work. You just come back the next morning, you come in early and you just try and clear as much as you can.
What's it like trying to get an appointment these days?
Not easy at all. You ring up at 8:30 in the morning and you end up with about your 30 in the queue and all that.
It can be a bit difficult if it's just a sort of a regular thing. If it's an emergency, that's different. I don't tend to have a problem.
Have you had to go into hospital at all recently?
I had a massive cut on my chin. I went to A&E. I was waited for about 3 hours and just got bored and walked out. And the waiting room was just full.
We've got people who have to come back repeatedly to see us for ever stronger painkillers because they need a hip replacement. I've had some patients that have been so desperate that they have used their life savings to get a private hip replacement.
Betty is one of those people.
We're lucky really that we can afford to go private. You have to spend your money where it is necessary really.
This is one of 3 major acute hospitals run by Wales' biggest health board. But Betsy Cadwallader is known not for its size, but its struggles. In and out of special measures for over a decade, the largest treatment waiting list in Wales, and if you come to A&E here, you'll wait longer than anywhere else.
The Health Board says it's working hard to improve waiting times and patient flow, but recognises there is still more to do. But these are problems being felt everywhere in Wales, and every political party is promising solutions. Plaid Cymru wants to hire more GPs and expand surgical hubs. Reform UK is promising an emergency plan and a workforce review. Welsh Labour points to major investment in new hospitals, while the Wales Green Party wants to declare corridor care an emergency. The Welsh Conservatives also say they would declare a health emergency, and the Welsh Liberal Democrats propose more investment in social care.
Is it possible for any government to turn things around and improve it, or is this problem just too big?
I think what we need from the political parties is honesty on what can be delivered. If you look at the expensive and complex care that the NHS is providing now, which they weren't providing even 5 years ago, that has to be paid for. And some treatments are incredibly expensive. We need an honest conversation with the public about what you can get from the NHS and really difficultly what you can't get from the NHS.
Just let me know if it's too tight.
Yeah, that's great.
Today's uncertainty is worrying for tomorrow's workforce. These health and social care students at Coleg Menai in Llangefni are keen but concerned about jobs.
I'm not very optimistic about it because obviously with how low the payments are, how much stress there is, and obviously again with the waiting lists, and there aren't guaranteed jobs.
I definitely question my future majority of the time, like is there a point of going to university for me to not get a job?
I do want to go to uni for nursing and midwifery. I am worried because there is a lot of short staffing with midwives after they qualify, and if I'll get a job in the NHS eventually. But other than that, I'm not too worried right now, no.
Does it almost motivate you to come in and try and help?
Yeah, it does.
From staff to students, patients to politicians, our health shapes how we all live our lives, and it's shaping this election too.
And Katie is here with me now to tell us more. Katie, health clearly a huge talking point, but whichever party or parties form the next Welsh Government, they will be facing huge problems in healthcare.
Absolutely, John. You know, we spent time inside a GP surgery, but step into any part of the health system and you'll likely feel the pressure, which is why health is such a major focus of every manifesto for every party, and with good reason, because it consumes more than half of the Welsh Government's entire budget, yet we're still seeing so many problems. There's a pharmacy just behind our camera crew over there. They're struggling with rising medicine costs. We've reported on the dental crisis, cancer delays, ambulance delays, social care shortages. Billions needs to be spent on upgrading and replacing our hospital buildings. NHS pay is a point of contention every year, and all of this means we're seeing an increasing number of highly skilled staff leaving the NHS and Wales to work elsewhere. I gave you a flavour of what the parties are promising, but so far NHS leaders have told me they don't feel those ideas are anywhere near ambitious enough. They want to see really radical ideas with a particular focus on prevention, improving things like housing, making houses warmer because cold homes can create lots of health issues, education, boosting the economy. All of these things will help people to live healthier lives, and in turn they won't need the health service as much. What is somewhat reassuring is patients will often tell me that yes, they've waited such a long time to get treatment or to get into A&E, but once they get that care, it can be excellent, and they see staff working incredibly hard in really difficult conditions. So, you know, there's a real resilience from staff that some feel has been relied on for too long, in a sense. So it's clear that whoever is next in charge will have a huge task on their hands when it comes to the NHS, and that's before they've even started looking at any other of the issues that they're responsible for away from the health service.
Our health reporter Katie Fenton, thank you very much indeed for that. But there are many other issues that divide opinion here. Now, I mentioned we're in the shadow of Carnarvon Castle, but another striking structure has been making its mark around here today. ITV Cymru Wales ballot box that we're taking on tour in the run-up to polling day. So if you see it out and about, you'll know we want to hear from you. So here in this new constituency of Gwynedd Maldwyn, I've been taking a closer look at what will sway voters here when they come to cast their ballot in May. This is the Mice, the square at the very heart of this historic town, and we've brought our big ballot box out onto the street to draw out the voters to find out what's important to them. What are the issues that could attract them to a particular party? Are they creatures of habit? Or at this election, could they be tempted to try something new? Let's find out what's got Carnarvon talking. How do you feel about the election? Have you decided how you're going to vote?
I have not, no. I don't really know much about the election.
Are you any of the parties speaking to you?
Well, I've always been a Labour supporter, but you know, quite interested in Plaid at the moment as well. Just looking at everything really and seeing what aligns mostly with my beliefs.
You think this election is important? Do you think?
It is important. I believe it's important. I think we need a change. What that change is, I don't know, because there's...
Have you made your mind up yet?
I haven't, and this is the first time at any election that I'm struggling to make a decision.
What's important to you?
Cheaper bills.
especially with electricity.
So the cost of living is important, is it?
Yes, very much. And the fuel for the petrol, that's gone up as well.
The cost of living is definitely an important factor, but however, to me, it would also be a lot to do with the environmentals.
Well, as a retired nurse, health is always important to me. People, not being able to access any services.
You're voting locally. What's important to you?
Well, hospital waiting lists. I'm waiting for a knee operation.
I want to regain the railway from Bangor to Carnarvon. Who's doing anything about that?
So transport really important
Transport is really important.
So what's important to you in these elections that are coming up?
There are a lot of things, like education and the development of the people.
In Wales, the housing list is extortionate right now. I'm looking into every party possible to see which one's going to best represent me as a young person.
Well, that's what's on the minds of people locally here in Carnarvon. And on your screen right now is the full list of candidates standing for election in the Gwynedd-Maldwyn constituency. Now, staying with the election, and Plaid Cymru have today said that they will support nuclear energy projects at sites in Wales where there has been nuclear energy generation before. On the campaign trail today, the party said that it wants to launch a renewable energy revolution and see Wales reach net zero targets by 2035. But there is no mention of nuclear energy in the party's manifesto.
Our stance on nuclear energy is a long-standing one. We are in favour of new nuclear projects where there have been historically in Wales, so in Wylfa and Trawsfynydd, but we're not in favour of additional nuclear developments in Wales, and we are absolutely in understanding that renewable energy has to be the emphasis going forward.
Another busy and blustery day on the campaign trail for politicians across Wales, looking to secure your support. And a busy day for us here, getting the voters' views in the new Gwynedd-Maldwyn constituency. Join me at the end of the programme for some final thoughts and to hear where the ballot box lands next. It could be down your way. But for now, from Carnarvon, I'll hand you over to Andrea in the studio in Cardiff for the rest of the day's news. Andrea.
John, thank you, and we'll see you later. In other news tonight, prices at the fuel pumps are finally set to come down after more than a month of rises. Motoring organisation the RAC says that they expect petrol and diesel to drop by several pence a litre over the next week or so after 43 days of price increases. Well, our correspondent Hannah Thomas is at a fuel forecourt in Llantwit Vardra for us this evening. And Hannah, we've talked about this over the last few weeks quite a lot. This will be welcome news for Welsh motorists, won't it?
Yes, indeed it will, Andrea. You may remember that a week ago, of course, I was stood here when petrol prices then were 153.9. Tonight, they're still 153.9. Diesel prices a week ago were 186.9. Tonight, they are 187.9. So they have gone up by a penny here over the last week. But the predictions are that they will come down in the foreseeable future because we have seen nearly 2 months, haven't we, of price rises at forecourts like this one. And it all, of course, began with the onset of the Iran war and the blockade of the Strait of Hormuz. Now, there's still some uncertainty as to whether those oil tankers are getting through there, but motoring organisations are telling us that wholesale fuel costs are actually now significantly lower than they were at the start of April. But the UK Labour government has been giving this reaction today.
We're keeping a very close eye on the situation. It's important that in any support the government offers, we don't have a knee-jerk response which could end up pushing up debt, pushing up interest rates and inflation and hitting families for many years to come.
So is this good news for all of us who drive a vehicle? Well, the answer to that is we're going to have to wait and see, because the crisis in the Middle East is still ongoing, isn't it? So in the short term, those fuel prices may be coming down and we may have some short-term relief, but in the longer term, it's too early to say whether those fuel prices are going to stay down. Now, you may remember, Andrea, that Northern Ireland this week has seen fuel protests from farmers in particular with their tractors. We haven't yet seen that in Wales, but watch this space, because there are some suggestions that we could see demonstrations in other parts of the UK. There is also some speculation around oil-related costs for us, the households and other businesses, spilling down to us later on in the months to come. So, as far as fuel and oil is concerned, Andrea, we are not yet out of the woods.
Hannah, yeah, it's an ever-changing situation, is it? Thanks for keeping us up to date. Well, time now for a look at the day's sports news.
Powering local sport in the community. Octopus Energy sponsors ITV Cymru Wales Sports Report.
And Matt joins us in the studio. Hi, Matt. It's been a busy week, hasn't it, particularly for women's sport?
Very much so, Andrea. And we'll start then with the rugby. And Wales's women are looking to bounce back after suffering defeat to Scotland in the opening round of the Six Nations last weekend. They welcome France to the Cardiff Arms Park on Saturday, and despite winning just one game in 12 months, head coach Sean Lynn believes his side can take the positives from their latest defeat.
Look, I know we didn't get the win on Saturday. Everybody wants that win. But the performance and the test match, that's what we wanted, is being competitive. Every fixture that we want to be playing in, we want to be in have a competitive fixture. So playing at the Arms Park is really special as well, for the crowd to be coming to watch us.
There is more upbeat news in the football, where Rhian Wilkinson's side continued their unbeaten start to their World Cup qualifying campaign. 2 goals from in-form striker Hannah Kane helped them beat Albania 4-0 at the Kairas in Wrexham last night. They now head to Elbasan for the reverse fixture on Saturday evening. And finally this evening, a racing driver from Maesteg is making her mark on the international stage. That's after competing in a global motorsport competition in Sweden. Emily Lloyd finished 13th out of 150 drivers and was the only competitor representing Wales. Now she's hoping her success will inspire more women and girls to get involved in the sport. Our reporter Isa Farfor has been along to meet her.
It's fast, it's loud, and definitely not for the faint-hearted. And at speeds like this, there is no room for hesitation, and Emily Lloyd wouldn't have it any other way. She is just returned from Sweden after competing against some of the best female racing drivers in the world.
It was incredible, to be honest, and especially to be the only person from Wales. It felt like a really proud moment where I was able to represent where I've come from. Being the only one that has managed to progress through the finals felt like a massive achievement to me, and it was amazing out in Sweden. It's nothing like I've ever experienced before. The driving was so much fun, but so challenging at the same time. It was brilliant.
Emily finished 13th out of 150 drivers in a global competition, now hoping her success will inspire more Welsh women to get behind the wheel.
And it's brilliant to see 150 women in the same room just having the chance to win a seat in a radical car. That's sort of a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and to be a part of that is unbelievable.
Change is coming, and you want to be part of that change.
Absolutely. If I can, make young girls want to become motorsport drivers, get into the world of motorsport, I'd love to be the one that they look up to and say, oh yeah, if she can do it, then I can do it.
And wherever she races, there is one member of the team who always comes along for support, this lucky charm. And how proud are you to be working with her, seeing her succeed, seeing her representing Wales internationally?
Absolutely over the moon. She's very determined, she's very disciplined and very focused. And yeah, we've noticed as a team
a marshalling team, we've noticed that all around. And for her to make it to the top 150, I believe it is, out in Sweden, and then come in 13th. And that's not out of 150, that's 13 out of all of the world, is absolutely phenomenal. Flying the flag for Wales and also for women.
But what does it feel like to drive a racing cart at this speed? Well, I decided to try it for myself.
Now it's my turn, competing against the best. Let's go for it.
From a track in the Vale of Glamorgan to racing on the world stage, Emily says this is just the beginning.
Ready?
Because motorsport is for everyone, and big racing dreams can start right here in Wales.
Competing against the best, Emily.
Isa Farfor, ITV News.
Well, blink and you will miss him. Isa Farfor there, bringing a swift end to our sports section.
Plenty of girl power in the sport tonight. I like it, Matt. Thank you very much. You are watching Wales at 6. Thanks for your company as ever. Now let's find out what's coming up on the ITV Evening News.
Coming up in the evening news, how was a prisoner who sexually assaulted a 14-year-old girl accidentally freed early from prison? The government releases its report. Trucks begin the task of removing huge mountains of waste illegally dumped in Oxfordshire. And Harry's candid comments as he talks about therapy on his trip down under. Would you join me for those stories and more at 6:30?
And a reminder now of how you can get more analysis on all the big stories in Wales in our weekly newsletter. Just scan the QR code on your screen now where you can sign up on Substack. You only have to do it once, and after that we'll automatically email you our weekly newsletter where you can read more in-depth analysis and insight from our reporters into the biggest stories around Wales. It's completely free to sign up, and you can read it on your phone and tablet too. Just scan the QR code to sign up, or if you're already on Substack, search ITV Wales. Now, as the evening ticks on, you might be thinking it's about time to relax and recover from your busy day. Well, our reporter Megan Boot has been getting an insight into just that, and you might be surprised that that's landed her next to the water. Megan, I can see that we can see boats behind you, but you're not going sailing. We're intrigued.
Well, I'm glad you're intrigued, Andrew. That's right. Yes, I'm going to be on the water, but I'm not going to be on a boat. Let me show you. Come this way, because this is Wales's first floating sauna. It is the brainchild of Rory.
Megan,
thank you for having us on Wales at 6. Can we see it?
Come on through.
All right, let's go and take a look. What's this room?
This is our small little changing area.
Yeah.
But this is where the magic happens.
Oh, wow.
This is the main room. This is our sauna room.
Right,
but
now.
Fortunately, it's not on right now.
Yes, because otherwise the camera wouldn't
Exactly.
work. What made you think of doing this, getting a sauna?
So my love for saunas stemmed back from when I used to ski for Great Britain.
Yeah.
So we used to use saunas for a way of recovering after a day's of training.
Yeah.
And then I bought my own sauna about 5 years ago, and the way it makes you feel is incredible.
Yeah.
So I wanted to bring something new to Penarth.
Yeah.
And I thought Penarth Marina is a perfect location.
Yeah. I
So-
mean, we can see, we've got another camera, so you get sort of live cam of what this looks like, where this is situated. I mean, why did you want to have it here in this marina?
Well, Penarth Marina is stunning.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got great history. It's got a lot of nature.
Yeah.
From cormorants to coots to swans. So, I mean, you can sit down, relax, take in the view.
Yeah.
So, it felt like the right place. And, I mean, we have Cardiff Bay right next to us.
Of course,
so we've
yeah.
got our own run club. So we do a run club and then do sauna and ice bath after.
Okay.
So we've got the ice baths for there as well.
Right. They're cold though, aren't they? But, I mean,
Definitely.
ice bath is supposed to
So we
clear.
can get them down to 2 degrees or up to 40 degrees.
I'm not in there at 2 degrees,
So, yeah.
no way. And look, having this on the water, how tricky was that to make? Your face says it all.
So it wasn't the easiest of projects for myself.
No, I can imagine.
So this was built with myself and a friend. So it was a first of its kind in Wales and a first of its kind for ourselves.
Yeah.
So we learned a lot along the way.
Yeah.
But very pleased with the outcome. So
Yeah.
no complaints.
And what are the hopes for the future then?
So this is just a start. So potentially a sauna boat around Cardiff Bay.
Oh, wow.
Not too sure yet, but we're happy with this at the minute.
Okay,
so.
Rory, I'll let you go. Well,
No worries.
this marina has been here for more than 150 years, but it's never seen anything quite like this.
Get the sauna on and have a go, I say, Megan. Thank you. Well, let's see if it's the kind of weather that we're going to need a sauna for or not. Here's James with the forecast.
Midday Mayan temples, followed by sunny afternoons on the sand. TUI sponsors ITV Cymru Wales weather.
Oh, there, good evening. It's been a bit of a wet day, quite a blustery day and quite a showery day, and with those showers, maybe the odd rumble of thunder you might have caught too. A bit more of that sort of weather over the next couple of days. It's going to stay on the mild side and then hopefully something a little more settled into the weekend. There goes our front from earlier, still a couple of showers knocking around. Tomorrow we may well see a few showers just lining up with the isobars here. It could make it a bit of a messy picture in terms of just where those showers are going to fall and just how many any of us are actually going to see. As far as overnight goes then, like I say, quite a few showers knocking around. They, again, will still be quite blustery during the overnight period. As far as temperatures go, well, the breeze is coming in from the south and southwest, so it's going to be mild by the end of the night, just dipping into a high single digits. Still quite blustery around the coast, and that will be a feature through tomorrow as these showers get going too. Like I say, don't get too caught up on where the showers are turning up on the map. They could turn up anywhere, and they're likely to bundle together. So if you start seeing showers, you're likely to get quite a few of them. Later on in the day, the warm front starts to push into Pembrokeshire, so maybe some light rain here by the end of the afternoon. But it is nice and mild, looking at highs of around 14, maybe 15 Celsius. Friday sees another cold front move through, a bit like today really, and then high pressure settles things down nicely for the weekend. That means in terms of detail, rain, then showers, then some sunny spells on Friday, lots of sunshine on Saturday, bit of cloud on Sunday, and staying nice and warm with highs in the mid-teens.
TUI sponsors ITV Cymru Wales weather.
Well, that's it from me in the studio. Let's hand back to John now, who's in Carnarvon on the first stop of our election tour of Wales. John.
Yes, welcome back to Carnarvon, a very popular destination for tourists, but it's the local people we've been interested in today because they will be voting in just over 3 weeks in the Senedd election. And with the people we spoke to today, a wide range of hot topics, everything from transport to the cost of living, but health kept coming up, didn't it, Katie?
It did indeed, because it's something you, me, all of us are affected by here in Carnarvon and right across Wales. In fact, I imagine everyone watching tonight will have experienced or know someone who's experienced NHS pressures as a patient or as a staff member. The NHS is Wales's biggest employer, after all. To offer a bit of hope, Wales is a small nation. Many say it is therefore better able to implement positive change faster, but I think the next Welsh Government will just be focusing on getting things stable.
OK, thanks very much indeed. Well, campaigning is now in full swing with all candidates vying for your vote. So if you want to find out more about it, then just follow us online. Also, Rob Osborne will be back tonight on ITV1 talking to the Conservative leader Darren Miller. That's at 7:30 and on ITVX2. Our next roadshow will be in Llanelli, so we hope to see you there a week today. But from all the team here in Carnarvon, thanks for watching and we'll see you soon.